men, I've done looting Kiev, and we're ready to fight those wolves. Really curious to see how it's gonna go since we are a couple of people. Really interested. Let's see. Flashlight, knife, and rifle. Yeah, we're good to go. The men going on the wolf hunt set up a temporary camp next to the burned out warehouse of the highway. Thick smoke rose from rusty barrels. The fighters sat on logs around the hot fire and hungrily devoured roasted potato and drank water from large tin mugs. Ooh, an older comrade sat cross-legged on a red oilcloth and let out pieces of freshly fried fish on scrap of newspaper. I noticed Gavrilov nearby. He was gesticulating with a half-gnawed chicken bone, regaling the man around him with a tale from his turbulent adolescence. The men laughed, clutching their sides. The hunters were buoyed up, cheerful even, though too cheerful, but they couldn't see how small their chance of survival were. They must have simply refused to entertain the possibility. I counted 11 fighters, nowhere near enough, but still, it was virtually every adult man in Gorenchi. The only people left were women, children, old people, and 2 or 3 guys who had been seriously wounded in the last foray. 5 men were armed with assault rifle, the other had old saw-off shotgun or double-barrel shotgun. As I recall, automatic gunfire was effective against black wolves. One single bullet didn't bother them much. We had to hope that we weren't about to face a large pack. Gavrilov saw me and stopped his storytelling, beckoning me over. And here's your friend that once told you about. The former investigator introduced me to the others. I shook their hands. He's come to us all the way from Tver, so he's got some fighting experience. He promised to help with the wolves. Have you actually seen the wolf we got around here? No more wolves have got nothing on these beasts, said the fighter next to Gavrilov, looking doubtfully at me. He wasn't a young man, and he had the tired, squinting eyes and heavily lean-faced. I've seen them before. I killed one in Moscow. One-on-one? The hunter repeated. The other looked over at me with respect. Impressive. Around here we scavenge in a group of 12 at least, and they're just for the she-wolf. You really don't steer things up, the guys next to him said. It's bad enough as it is. We're just about to head out, Gavrilov said to me. If you have any question, ask them now. Who's leading the squad? I am, and Yuri's helping, Gavrilov responded. When it comes to the wolf, we have the most experience, I suppose. Before, Kirill was in charge of all operation, Yuri said glumly. He was Navy Special Forces, Nikita's stepfather, the one who didn't come back from Kiev. You were there too. Maybe you saw the body, Gavrilov confirmed. He ran out of cartridges. He couldn't retreat, so he went at the wolf with a knife. A knife. As I recall the dead body with the bitten off hand. The hunter fell silent for a moment as a sign of respect for the dead. Any more question? Where is the she-wolf hiding? In an old slaughterhouse, 5 kilometers off the highway to Zitomir. Both cubs were sighted there, Yuri replied, and 3 days ago all our people out there were killed. The wind hasn't changed in a long time, he added. We're going to approach the slaughterhouse from downwind. If it works, and they don't catch our scent, we'll get there unnoticed. We'll take out the she-wolf and get the hell out of there. Such an optimistic Yuri, Gavrilov laughed darkly. These creatures are blind, but they'll sniff us out a mile away. Say what you want, but they'll all come running to defend the mother. So what's the plan? The plan is simple, don't die, replied one of the other, Grigori. Let's consider the worst case scenario, also known as the most likely scenario, Gavrilov said. There's a whole pack of wolves around the slaughterhouse. We've got other smoke bomb. We'll take the beasts by surprise. We'll kill them all before they even know what's hit them. We'll go into the building, find the she-wolf, take her out fast. The worst case scenario is that it gets the jump on us, Yuri muttered, but if we're really stuck, we have plan B, said Gavrilov. There was a small suitcase on the ground between his feet and he gave us a solemn pat. That's gonna be an explosive. When are we going to tell them what you promised? As soon as the she-wolf's dead, not before. The investigator interjected, giving me a cold look. Take my advice, forget about everything else for now. If we aren't focused, if we don't work together, nobody will be coming home. Every man is responsible for the rest of the squad. Are we clear? We're clear. Excellent. I don't have any more questions. Then let's get started, Gavrilov said with a nod, jumping to his feet. Folks, no more chit-chat, we're moving out. The hunter scramble, get ready. Do me a favor, would you? Gavrilov murmured, drawing me off to one side. I haven't seen Nikita in over an hour. Go get him. He shouldn't be on the other side of the highway. I'd go myself, but he won't talk to me. Why? He probably blamed me for Kirill's death, his stepfather, Gavrilov sighed. And then I was the one who took him away from Kiev and stopped him getting his revenge on the wolf. Will you do it? Alright, I'll find him. It wasn't difficult to find the guy. Nikita was sitting on a large stump and he was carving something out of a lump of tree barks. He showed no reaction to my arrival and just continued carving. Gavrilov sent you, he asked me point blank when I got closer. He asked me to come get you. He's worried. Nikita frowned but said nothing. Gavrilov think that you hold him responsible for your stepdad's death. That's none of your business. Who are you anyway? Nikita replied in irritation. If Gavrilov wants something from me, he can come himself. He started thinking, still wielding the knife. I'll finish up and come back. Listen, I'm really sorry. You can take your elf-full condolences and shove him, Nikita said, frowning. All of you, I'm sick of it. I suddenly remember Nikita in Kiev shooting at the wolf with tears in his eyes. What are you gonna say? Maybe you can still tell me what's bothering you? I know I'm a stranger, but I'll be gone soon. It will make you feel better to talk. Give it a try. That's true. Tell me, do you really hold Gavrilov responsible for what happened in Kiev? Pretty knife, I haven't seen one like that before. Maybe just talk about something else? Pretty, Nikita sighed. My stepdad brought it back from Europe when he was even younger than I am now. He had it with him everywhere he went, you know. He slept with it under his pillow. He even kept it when he went from a swim. It always made me laugh. One time, I hid the knife as a joke and my stepdad beat me bloody. He stuck the blade in a piece of wood and said, when your rifle misfire, when your grenade doesn't go off, when your friends run, all you have left is your knife. This thing saved his life 3 times. We'll try this now. Maybe it's since he told us about his stepfather. I tried to sound persuasive, but Nikita gave me no indication that he had even heard my request. He gave the impression of being entirely focused on his carving. He was waiting for me to give up and leave him in peace. Let's talk about the carving. My stepdad. When my mom died, a long time ago, I was still in school. My stepdad made me a wooden figurine of my mom dancing. She was a ballerina, and that's how I always remember her dancing. And he told me that when he was in the Navy, he made carving of his parents so he didn't miss them as much. But the figurine itself doesn't matter. It's the feeling you put into it as you carve it. Nikita turned the grinning wolf head in his hand. He didn't have eyes, Nikita laughed. You can carve something with love or hatred, whichever fits. Okay, maybe you can still tell me what's bothering me? Let's try again. Nikita hesitated. At last he sat the knife and carving down and he rubbed his temple. There you go. Back in Kiev, my stepdad had run out of cartridge and he killed a wolf with his knife, but then Nikita's throat caught. Another beast attacked him from behind and bit his hand off. Ironic, right? He had a knife but no hand to wield it. The wolf didn't even finish him off. It was going for Gavrilov, but my stepdad grabbed it with his arm and held it back. The wolf tore at him, but my stepdad held on until he bled out. If Seva had arrived 30 seconds later, the wolf would have got Gavrilov too. I'm sorry about how it turned out, but what did Gavrilov do wrong? He almost died too. Yeah, there was nothing he could have done. Nikita closed his eye. All he had was the Makarov, and it's like a flea bite to those black wolf. I don't know if he'd do what my stepdad did for him, but he's not to blame for his death. The blame lies elsewhere. Another who? Me. Nikita turned the carving in his hand, and then he slashed at it with the knife. We shot one beast. The wolf was going to run away. My stepdad yelled for me to stop, but all I cared about was showing him that I was tough guy too, that I could handle a wolf one-on-one, and injured to boot. I left the other far behind and chased after it, and what I had on me was an only assault rifle with a full magazine. I caught up with it and finished it off, but when I came back to the other, I saw my stepdad's body. Now it's my turn to say something. I said, watching the horizon. When I was traveling to Kiev, I met a good guy. He thought I was a bandit, so he tied me up and was planning to torture me, but then a wolf attacked him. A wolf that had followed me all the way from Bryansk. It bit off the guy's head. Do you think I'm responsible for this man's death? It was terrible, but there was nothing I could have done. You couldn't have done... No, do you think I'm responsible for this man's death? He's gonna say no. That's a completely different situation. Am I responsible? I repeated more forcefully. No, I don't think you're responsible, Nikita replied. Suddenly his face reddened. But you know what? Even though nobody would say you were to blame, you still know that it was your fault. You know you've got that man's blood on your hands. But it had nothing to do with me. and you could have done something. Don't you get it? It doesn't matter. Whether you could have done something or not, you're still responsible. I don't believe you. I don't believe that you sleep soundly at night after that. I didn't know what to say to him. Time to go. Nikita stood up. We'll kill this monster, every last one of them, and then maybe it won't hurt so much. Alright, let's go. The small squad led by Gavrilov and Yuri was already waiting for us when he saw Nikita. The investigator gave me a thumbs up, but I was lost in my own thoughts and didn't respond. Nikita's words were playing on my mind. I remembered the whole Hunter and Galia and Sasha too. When all was said and done, I was solely responsible for what happened to them. When a person dies, the responsibility for their death falls on you. There's no such thing as there was nothing I could do, especially if the person was someone you love. We finished our march about 300 meters from their destination. The wind hadn't changed, there had been no incident on the road. Gavrilov sent the scout up ahead. They came back within 15 minutes. After consulting Yuri about something, Gavrilov called me over. Listen carefully. There are 9 wolves near the slaughterhouse. 4 to the east, they're sleeping, and 5 to the south. They're up and alert. We'll take the brood by surprise, he continued. We're splitting the squad into 2 groups. We'll attack simultaneously. The first group will throw out smoke bomb at the 4 sleepers from behind cover and make Swiss cheese of them. The other group will go around the 5 wolves from downwind, take up their position and upper fire on signal, and decide if you're going to in the first group or the second group, Gavrilov said. The first group is the less risky choice. The wolf will be asleep, but you're needed more in the second group. You're an old hand at this, and you guys aren't even professional hunter. For some of them, this is the first time they've even held a gun. And they're afraid, of course, although he added, you shouldn't estimate the sleeping wolf. You're a little paranoid, Pavlev. I always said it, Yuri chuckled, but seriously, why the hell are we splitting the squad? We can deal with the sleeping wolf in one go and they'll all go up against the group of 5. It's not that complicated. Your clever strategy isn't needed here. So what's your decision? Said the former investigator, turning to me. Ah, interesting. I'm going with the first group against the sleeping wolf? I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going with the second group against the wolves that are awake. Those are way dangerous. They are more. I think you're really right. There's no sense in splitting up the squad. We can deal with this 4 together and then finish the rest. That's true. But I think going... Yeah, I think it's better to split. I really think it is. Because one's going to surprise the awake, and the other is gonna destroy the sleeping wolf with a smoke bomb. I think that's a good plan. And I go help them with the awake one, because they're the most dangerous, and they're more. Makes sense, Gavrilov praised Yuri thought for a moment, but then he nodded too. It was settled. The operation began. Trying to move soundlessly, we approached the squad slaughterhouse building. Yuri and another 5 hunters ran behind the truck. Each man took a smoke bomb. The wolves were sleeping very close by on the other side of the truck. After confirming that everything was going to plan, I, Gavrilov, Nikita, and other 4 hunters advanced south through the underground. We cut a wide berth to avoid alerting the 5 wolves before we were ready. At last, we took up our position, we aimed, and just as the sound of the first shot from the east reached us, we opened fire. Unfortunately, the firing distance proved too great for most of my comrades. I killed 1 wolf, but the other only had minor injury and started running right at us. How could you miss? Gavrilov shouted, huffing and puffing. Even though they completed the training, the country folks hadn't turned into sharpshooter overnight. But things improved after that. The wolves were running in a strong outline, and they went down one after the other, under the heavy fire of the 3 assault rifles. I finished off one, Gavrilov got the second, and the third was ringing in agony. Yes, that's it. Excellent work, boys, Gavrilov said, encouraging the others. The last wolf seemed to come out of nowhere. It sank its teeth to one guy's throat. A second later, and it had knocked Nikita to the ground. Gavrilov ran to his head and whacked the beast with the butt of his rifle. Then the wolf lifted off Nikita with a snarl and tore into Gavrilov's stomach. They both went down. We ran right up to the beast and shot it several times in the head. The wolf dropped dead, but we could still hear gunfire coming from the east. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna go well with the sleeping one. When we reached the truck, it was already over. The 4 wolves were dead, but Yuri and 1 other hunter were only survivors from the group. Yuri ran across the blood-stained ground in frenzied fury. I told them, he roared, catching sight of us. Don't leave them wounded. Finish them off. Finish them immediately. They did everything they could, Yuri, said one of the hunters. Don't blame them. They're not soldiers. Yuri just clenched his teeth. The battle was over. We had lost 5 men, and another, the 6th, was at the death's door, Pavlov Gavrilov. Crap, he was the one who was supposed to give me information. The former investigator raised his eyes to mine and tried to smile. The layer of grim and blood on his face made the smile look eerie. Sorry, pal, but you'll have to get Zaitsev to tell you what you want to know, if you survive this hunt, of course. Nikita walked up to us. Yuri was with him. One look at the injured man told him all he needed to know. There was no hope. Pavlov, damn, was all he could get out. It's over for me, Yuri. Worry about the other one who are injured, and don't waste time. You have to finish the mission. Finish the mission? Yuri called. Who's going to finish it? We lost too many already. We're bandaging up the wound and going back to Gorinichi. Yuri is right. If we don't leave now, all these people will have died for nothing. While we take time to regroup, we'll descend on this place from all over. We need to kill the she-wolf right now. You're right, the dying man whispered gratefully. Yuri, you can mourn later. Tell the boys to get ready. Redistribute the gun. Gather up all the cartridges that are left. Pavel. But what if in the slaughterhouse the she-wolf isn't alone? Yuri interrupted him, his voice tinged with anger. What if there's more wolf? You'll manage. You have to. You need to put an end to this. If you let them breed freely, they'll massacre the whole village in revenge. Pavlov, no, you can't, Yuri replied. I can't. Enough, Gavrilov said. He closed his eyes, but then he looked at me. Now you're in command, in my place. Yuri, Nikita, do what he says. What? Yuri gasped. Pavlov, are you serious? Gavrilov didn't respond. Yuri scowled at me, threw up his hand and walked away. Gavrilov strained himself to speak again, but the life was already leaving his body. Nikita, forgive me. Those were his last words. Forgive him. He saved me. Nikita said, breaking his grim silence. He saved me even though he knew the wolf would kill him. Why did he do that? He's worth more to the squad than I am. He must have really felt guilty about you. But maybe I had it. He wanted to fulfill his debt to your stepfather, who saved him in Kiev. I don't know. All I know is that he was a good man. May his soul rest in peace. Nikita looked at me in pain. I know that he died because of me, just like my stepdad, and I have to live with that. I had no idea how to help him. Go back to the injured. Against all expectation, Yuri fulfilled every one of Garilov's order. Luckily, no one was seriously injured among the survivors, but everyone was wounded in one way or another. The massively depleted squad was waiting for me and Nikita. Yuri was conversing in whisper with another hunter, Grigory. We await your command, he said coldly when he saw me. Just remember that you're responsible for all of us now, for every one of us, and if anything goes wrong, it will be on you. Yuri, shut up. Nikita snapped at him. We all looked at the kid in surprise. An impressive silence hung in the air. What's that? I asked, hoping to defuse the situation, pointing at the small suitcase behind Yuri. I'd already seen the case in Garilov's hand. Plan B, if your guns aren't enough to take down the she-wolf, just so you know we don't have much ammo left. Proceed into the slaughterhouse. Uh-oh, it's going down. It's going down. We couldn't get inside the building via the main entrance. That part of the structure had collapsed. But the meat loading gate was blocked off too. Even after we'd broke the lock, the inn just wouldn't budge. There's another way in. One of the hunters spoke up. The slaughter corridor. That's where the livestock will go down before we, well, you know. Yeah, go toward the slaughter corridor. There was nothing else to do, so we went around the slaughterhouse from the other side and entered the dark, tapering tunnel one after another. I used to work there, at the exit, a hunter whispered grimly. I never thought that one day it would be me walking toward the light. The hair on my arm stood up, and I don't think I was the only one. Despite the bad feeling in my gut, we made it through the slaughter corridor with no problem. We emerged into a spacious room with a sticky soil floor and dirty reddish-brown wall. Metal grill structure gleam along the wall, and terrifying hooks dangle above them. Next to the platform we were standing on, slaughtering tools had been abandoned. Haphazardly and farther on we saw an entire mound of bones with a human skull among them. Keep going, we don't have much time, I spurred the hunters on. We were surrounded by gloom and silence. Some solitary shaft of light filtered through the few tiny windows. The slaughterhouse seemed to be completely deserted, but when we reached the room that held the vats for bleeding the slaughtered animal, Nikita stopped. Shh! You hear that? Somewhere in the corner, drops of water were beating rhythmically off the concrete floor. From the ward archway up ahead, a barely audible scrape reached our ears. What's past the archway? I asked the former butcher. The evisceration room, you know, where you remove the entrail and split the carcass. Past that is the cold storage. The she-wolf is probably somewhere around there. There's no guarantee it will be alone. This evisceration room is it big? Long and narrow, but the butcher replied, we'll have to go in single file and there's aren't any window. Turn on your light, I ordered the rest. Have your weapon ready. Take the riskiest position and go through the archway first. Let the butcher go ahead of you and you bring up the rear. This isn't as risky as going first. Or let the butcher go ahead and you walk in the middle of the group. This is the safest position. I have to go in the middle. I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna walk in the middle. It truly was pitch black beyond the archway. Our flashlight revealed sharpened hook below the ceiling. Huge steel cabinet pipe snaking across the floor, platform, vats, and strange, evil-looking machinery. I didn't know the name of the wall and floor were dark with dry blood stain. Oh god, Gregory whispered. We stopped in our track. The scene before us was the stuff of nightmare. Gnaw corpse lay along the wells. They were fresh, rot hadn't even set in. Some only had the head intact. Below the chin, the spinal column gleamed white in the gloom. That's Misha. Andre, Gregory's voice wavered traitorously. Sergei, Chernizov, these are our guy. They were so close and his words were drowned out by a terrible growl. I just saw the wolf launch itself into the air and then its merciless jaw close around the butcher's head. If I had gone first, I would have been me. Yeah, I had a feeling. Raising a weapon, Yuri and I started firing at the monster, but it paid no attention to us, or the bullet piercing its ragged coat. Only when its victim stopped thrashing did the wolf turn its bloody muzzle towards us. I heard a blood-curdling scream from somewhere behind me. It died away in an instant, accompanied by a burst of automatic gunfire. With a low growl, the wolf homed in on Yuri. So I had to go in the middle, because the guy in the back are dying too. The wolf-like monster, its body battered and bruised all over, froze a step away from Yuri. Blood streamed from the countless hole riddled through its hide, but the creature didn't falter and didn't feel any pain. It was so terrifying, so implausible. Yuri lowered his gun. The use. I heard him whisper harshly, Yuri, no, don't give up. Yuri didn't hear. The gun fell from his limp hand. I started shooting again. The wolf snarled and went for Yuri. Just one bite and the wolf turned to me, preparing to leap, and then slowly collapsed on its side. Deathly silence fell once more. I raised my flashlight and looked around. A few paces away from me, Nikita was leaning back against a steel barrel, badly wounded. Gregory was busy doing something beside him. The other were all dead. Protecting their mother, the wolf fought to the last drop of blood, but the she-wolf wasn't in the evisceration room at all, alive or dead. It got away. It got away. It was all for nothing. Nikita gripped his head in powerless rage. Wait, look. I pointed at the archway leading to the cold storage. In the beam of my flashlight, we saw a small black wolf cub that quickly darted back into the darkness. It wouldn't leave the cub, I said, trying to inject some confidence into my voice. That's mean it's in the cold storage. The back gate is blocked. It's trapped. As if to confirm my word, a piercing whine came from the archway. Let's go kill it now. Hang back, Yuri said, shaking his head. What are we going to kill it with? We're almost out of ammo. Have you checked the gun on the casualty? Yeah, same, and we took every 39mm there was in Gorenchi. Double barrel shotgun? I doubt they'll help as much against the she-wolf, because there are only 3 of us. Where's Garylev's suitcase? Nikita asked suddenly. Is that it? Plan B? The suitcase was lying near to the former butcher's body. Bring the suitcase and open it. It's a bulletproof vest? Yuri said in surprise. How's that going to help us? No, it's not a bulletproof vest, Nikita said grimly. Gavlot said it's packed with plastic explosive. You put it on, you go up to the she-wolf and you pull the cord. What? That's not an option. Yuri blanched and his voice trembled. There's got to be another way. Like what? Going up against a mutant she-wolf with shotguns? She's protecting her young. She'll rip us apart in a second. Somebody is going to have to sacrifice themselves. Put on the vest, go into the cold storage, and when the she-wolf is nearby, pull the cords, Commander. Nikita turned to me. It's up to you to decide who goes. I didn't know what to say. Sure, before now my decision had life and death consequence for this man, but now I had to knowingly send one to his death. I thought of the decapitated hunter again. Back then, I didn't have a choice. Then I thought of Pavlov Gavrilov, Yuri, the butcher, and the other who had died during the hunt. I had made a choice, but I could only guess at the consequence of it. But this was completely different. Grigory, Nikita, or me, one of us had to die. Well, if I'm going and send I cannot die. Right? Well, Grigory, I'm sorry, but you're going, buddy. Me? Grigory swallowed and cast a wild dirty look at us. No, no. Grigory, I tried to calm him. What? Grigory's voice was breaking into a whimper. Did you know that I've got a wife and a son who's about to turn 2? They're waiting for me. You dragged me on this godforsaken hunt. We've risked your life so many times already. So many people have died. And I haven't said a word, but this? He poked the best. We never talked about this. No, that's not right. I should go, Nikita said suddenly. We turned to him. Nikita, listen. No, you listen. Nikita got in my face, breathing heavily. My stepdad and Garilov, they died because of me. Get it? Because of me. And this is my chance to make it all right. How can't you see? Everything's been leading up to this. This vest, it's for me. And this is how you want to get rid of your guilt? I want to rip him of debt. Sorry, Nikita, but you're not going? I pick Grigory. If that's your decision, go ahead. I've got an idea. We'll leave it to fate. Whoever draw the short matchstick will go. I don't know. Alright, if you want to go, go. Nikita froze for a second, then he smiled suddenly. Thanks. Yes, this is the right way for my stepdad, for Gavrilov. He started putting on the vest. Because we cannot go, because we cannot finish the game. Pretty sure. Because at the start of the quest it says we have to survive. If we don't survive, we have to start over, so... When you go back to the camp, Nikita said suddenly, go to her house. I've got a letter behind the washstand. It needs to be delivered to a girl, Tanya. Grigory, you know her. She lives with her sister. She's just amazing. We'll pass it on. Don't worry, Grigory said with a nod. Nikita smiled and started walking toward the archway. We didn't have to wait long. Within 10 seconds, the terrible whining behind the archway had increased, and then a boom came from the cold storage section, making the ground quake beneath our feet. For a second, I thought the ceiling was about to cave in, but the shaking stopped. Is it done? Grigory asked in a whisper. It's done, I said, nodding. Nikita did it. Let's move out, Grigory said in relief. His side stood up, and then the she-wolf appeared from the midnight blue archway. The creature standing before us, in the faint, flickering beam of the flashlight, bore only a vague resemblance to an ordinary wolf. The she-wolf didn't have fur or hair. Its greatest swollen body was entirely covered in horrific swelling and blister that were weeping pus, and a horrible yellow liquid dripped from its maw and eyes. This is terrifying. The she-wolf was simply massive, much larger than any of her cubs. Its entire right side, the muscle, ribs, the internal organ, had been blown completely open by the explosion. It dragged its back leg behind it, whining horribly, leaving a trail of blood and slime. But despite all of its injury, it still looked capable of defending itself. It's the devil himself, Grigory whispered. We have to kill it? 1,000 health! Oh my god. Okay, we're grabbing everything we can. Those are my best weapon, correct? They don't have armor? 60 to 20. We're gonna use the AK for sure. I don't think we're gonna use anything else. I might bring a pistol or something that use one in case I get injured or something like that. That's the best thing I can bring with me for one, right? Well, let's do it. Why am I with 2 people? Aren't I supposed to be with only 1 left? Interesting. Okay. Can I throw something? No. I can start shooting at it. And I missed. And I miss again. Well, this is not going well. Can I throw a grenade, maybe? Oh, I have to move back. Maybe not. I don't know what to do. Let's shoot once. Rage. I don't like that. Sorry, boys. Rage. Time 2. Yeah, the AK is the best thing, huh? It's bleeding at least. Oh, it's going for the guy. No. That's the best I could do. Rage time 5. What does that mean? Oh no. Someone's gonna die. Maybe not? Maybe we can... Oh, that hurt. Maybe we can finish it. Come on, come on, come on. Almost. Yes! We did it. The monster clung on to life till the very end. When the assault rifle was out of ammunition, Gregory reached for the shotgun. But the she-wolf just whined, trying to bite us, refusing to die. Only when we had turned the enemy into a shapeless, bloody mass did its leg give way. And this real-life nightmare, a monster wrought by radiation, rasped its last breath. I left Gregory in the evacuation area and swept the beam of my flashlight across the cold storage. As I hoped, the whole litter of wool cub, just short of a dozen, had perished in the explosion. Now we really could get out of here. We got some grenade, survival 1000, firearm XP, explosive XP. Wow. The she-wolf is dead, but we had to pay a high price for her life. When I got to the slaughterhouse, I saw the bodies of Gavrilov and the others. The body needed to be buried, but there were so few of us, and the surviving wolf could appear at any minute. An hour later, we were already heading back to Gorenichi. A giant pyre burned behind us, devouring the body of the brave warrior who had given their life for their country and their friends. And we just have to go back there, huh? Let's go. So there was nothing on the ground, I think? Yeah, let's go to the community center. The former director of the Institute of Virology does in the same armchair as last time. I woke him up and sat down on the chair next to him. Sidesef looked at me groggily, then I held out the she-wolf fang to him. What's this? That was your agreement. I held up my hand. The she-wolf is dead. Now it's your turn. Sidesef turned the fang in his hand and looked at me. He seemed a little uneasy. Where's Pavel? The wolf got Garilev. I'm listening. Alright, as you wish. Remind me, what did you want to know? Tell me about Nesterov and the other scientists who work with him and all the rest of it. The director nodded, removed his glass and began wiping them methodically with a rag. He cleaned them for several long minutes. Go ahead, don't be shy. What do you want me to say? Grigory Nesterov was a national renowned scientist, the pride of our institute. We worked successfully with him, Kulik and Shashkov for many years. Karzbyshev transferred to us from Leningrad. Beletsky, the youngest in the team, joined later in the end of '83. What were they working on? I could explain, but Cecile won't understand. Try to make me understand. Molecular genetic. They were studying the protein and gene of the most widespread viruses. An utterly harmless endeavor, as long as you don't cross the line, of course. Nesterov crossed it. He began experimenting with mutation. He got Kulik and Karzbyshev involved in it. They hid their work from the others. I had a suspicion that they weren't spending their evening in the lab just to drink tea, but I chose not to stick my nose in, but then I had to. Beletsky found Nesterov hidden cache. He dragged it out and brought me Nesterov's notebook and a voice recording. At first I couldn't even believe it, but it was his handwriting and his voice. Nesterov and his pal were developing a new plague. No, not a plague. This virus, R17, was far more dangerous than Yersinia pistis, and what's more, it was custom-made to order for the CIA. Nesterov had created a new biological weapon for our enemy. What did you do? I didn't have a choice. I reported them to the authorities, all three of them. Beletsky and Sashkov signed to the statement too. The case moved quickly. Nesterov, Kulik, and Karzbyshev were arrested. Then we were visited by men from the KGB. They questioned us and searched the whole institute. They took everything they could out of Nesterov's lab, even the sign on the door. They destroyed all of the biomaterial. The hearing was held behind closed doors, but I was allowed to stay as a witness. It happened quickly. The evidence was overwhelming, and Karzbyshev made a full confession. Article 64, betrayal of the motherland. They were taken straight from the coachroom to face the firing squad, but the virus was still used. Alas, yes. It seemed that Nesterov has already managed to hand over the contaminated culture to the CIA. On August 17, 1984, enemy agents dispersed R-17 to the air in various cities using special spray cans. That was the arm. Yes, That's how the epidemic started wiping out most of the population of the USSR. Now, are you satisfied? No, there's something else. How did the nuclear war start? The director looked at me in confusion, then nods again and started cleaning his glasses. I'm waiting. Alright. But it's all very straightforward. Clearly, the American Intelligence Agency overestimated the efficiency of their little killer, Her-17. Or perhaps they underestimated it. They thought it would leave the people of the great nation of Soviet near extinction, out of their wits and weakened by disease. And they would kill off any survivor themselves? Correct. And after spilling a little blood, they would have access to the endless rich land of our motherland, but R-70 betrayed them. The epidemic spread too slowly, its incubation period was too long, and too many people were immune. And already by October, tens of hundreds of thousands of people were thronging toward the USSR border. To flee the dying country? Of course! And almost every one of them was infected. Our neighbor closed their border, they introduced martial law, assembled their troops, and shoot refugees dead in their thousands. But there was too many of them. They were. For every person they killed, two more arrived, and the border is vast, so people with enough cunning or desperation would find a way through. And when the first outbreak of the epidemic happened in China, Mongolia, Turkey, Poland, and Finland, it was decided that extreme measures must be taken. A secret session of the nuclear club was held at the end of October, and the motion to cleanse the infected territory was passed. They used all the firepower they had, even villages were subject to disinfectation by bomb, but they miscalculated again. The USSR fought back? Yes. We launched our entire arsenal immediately on all targets. Even though it was doomed, the country didn't want to die. The wave of infected refugees capitalized on the chaos and overwhelmed the Allies' army, and that's how R-70 successfully spread to the rest of the world. There was nothing anyone could do? That's laughed bitterly. No, but it was every nation for itself at that point. The USA started bombing Europe, India attacked China, the Deep conflict flared up. It was as if the whole world had gone mad. The only place spare was Antarctica, but as always, mankind managed to make things even worse. Does that mean that there's nothing left on the other continent either? It's the whole world a wasteland? To be honest, I don't know. Excuse me, young man, but we've talked so long, it's time for me to take my pill. Well, thanks for you talking to me. Huh, so that really went pretty bad, huh? Okay. Well, we're gonna stop here for today. I think we've done most of the quests. We should probably go back to that person in a little while. So, I hope you enjoyed, guys. If you did, please leave a like and a comment to let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!